Figuring out which exhaust booth filter to use isn't easy. There's so many options. Poly, paper, blankets or pads. Which one do I use? Which size? Efficiency and holding capacity. We're here to help. And today, we're going to show you one of our personal favorites as our recommendation. Hey everybody, Nick here from Finishing Technologies. We get asked this question a lot from people who call us. Which exhaust booth filter should I use? Judging from the number of filters you might find on our website, it can be hard to tell what's what. No worries, I'm here to help. First of all, no matter which filter you end up with from FinTech, you're gonna get some great filtration options. Our main product lines are among the best at this and offer filter efficiencies well into the 95+ percentile and have a pretty decent holding capacity too. Let's break some of this down. A lot of people have these in their booth filter bank. A grid system, where individual panels are installed. This is one of the more common arrangements, and if your booth is like this, I have a pretty great and simple recommendations for you. This is the Super One high capacity bonded filter from Columbus Industries. You may have seen filters that look a lot like it out there, and they're pretty common and great at what they do, but this one's unique. This filter has a 6-layer construction of this diamond paper material. These diamond perforations get smaller as you go through the layers. The back also has a 2-layer poly media, which adheres to the paper and does a great job of catching the super fine particles that make it through the paper layers. Most of these types of filters are physically sewn to hold the layers together in one piece. But these filters are actually bonded, which means they're essentially glued instead. This does several things. This is the sewn version, the standard one. These filters are great at what they do, but they can sag a bit during the installation process, and they're a little loose. Further, as they load up in your booth, sometimes the upper corner can dog ear, which is when the corner ends up drooping a bit, which causes an easy place for the overspray to bypass your filter. These bonded versions are more stiff. They can stand up on their own, and this largely prevents the dog ear drooping effect while they're being used. Now let's talk about efficiencies just a bit. Why is it important? Just to make it easy, let's say you paint enough parts in your booth where 100 pounds of paint every month ends up hitting your booth filters. We're going to take an average from this filter's official spec sheet here and say that these are rated at around 98.5 efficient, which means only 1.5 pounds out of 100 end up getting by these filters every month. Over the course of a year, that's 18 pounds out of 1,200. Now let's say instead you're using a less expensive filter, which let's say is 96% efficient. Still sounds like a high rating, and it is, but under the same scenario, that filter would allow 4 more pounds of paint to pass by it every month. That's 48 pounds a year versus 18 pounds with our bonded high capacity filter. This means that this bonded filter, even though it's only rated 3% more efficient, actually ends up removing 63% more material than the less expensive filter. That's a huge difference in terms of how much maintenance you're going to end up in your booth exhaust stack, as well as the impact on your VOC emissions. So the seemingly small differences definitely add up. Now let me show you something cool. All filters have what they call holding capacity, as in how much paint they can hold within themselves before you'll need to swap them out. Now obviously this can vary widely depending on your coating and situation, but this bonded filter actually has an impressive ability to hold paint over time. I have here a small piece of one of those filters, and I've pre-weighed it. So this filter, before any paint has hit it, is about 121 grams. And then here's a piece of the same size, which is full of paint. This is a panel which is in a customer's booth and changed out when it was appropriate in their airflow situation. And we weighed it, and it was about 2,902 grams. That's a difference of 2681, which is all paint. To extrapolate that out to a 20 by 20 pad, that's 8 pounds, folks. So now you see why we recommended these bonded filters. Not only do they have great filtration specs, which means less booth maintenance and fewer VOC emissions, but you also need to change them out less frequent than other filters. That means less labor is involved in swapping them out and more time getting to your product coated. Not to mention the time you're saving cleaning up your stack. Further, you're going to have less chance of booth performance issues due to their overall stiffness once they're in place. FinTech stocks these in both 20 by 20 and 20 by 25 inch pads. Other sizes are available by special order. Now if this filter doesn't apply to you, I bet we have something that does. So give us a call and let's talk about your situation. Or ask a question in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. All of our contact information is on your screen. If you have further questions, please reach out to us. See you next time.